the biggest thing is that we're all too good for our own well-being, right? We think that we could conquer the world with ourselves. Believe it or not, guys, you all came in here with your mother. One way, shape, or form, we didn't come to this world by ourselves. And it's the stigma of harden up, she'll be right. It's that Kiwi mentality, right? Harden up. When things don't go so well, hey bro, for some people, it might not be.
Welcome, you're listening to Constructing Mindsets. I'm your host, Vincent Saunders. This is the podcast that shines a good light on the construction industry. Whether you're on the tools, in the office, or supporting others behind the scenes, we are hearing from the people who are making this a better place to work and how they are doing it. Please consider subscribing or sharing the story. Thanks for joining us on this one. Let's get into the episode. Taking a bit of that energy from sort of the hope and sort of the good things and smiling and being happy on site. Despite these, a survey, 23% of people felt overwhelmed with work and 17% struggled with time pressures. Despite these numbers, many people are still saying they're good, but the survey has found that even amongst them, 1 in 5 reported suicide behaviours. Why do you think it is still so hard to open up out there, even with so many voices speaking up and all the training that's out there at the moment? Sort of, why is it still so hard for people to open up?
If you don't mind me starting this up.
We've got two more sections to go. So this one's practical steps and hope. So Brandon, if you could give one tip to other tradies listening, what would make it easier to talk or ask for help? Like one tip that you've maybe been through.
One tip to make people talk. I think the main one is just do it. Just do it. It's just that simple. Just do it. You know, you're not going to die. No one's going to think any less of you. Everyone's been there, you know? And also, for everyone to talk, someone needs to do it first, right? Be that person. Why not? You got nothing to lose.
Yeah, and like just to touch on that, the ability for me to start this podcast, I think, stems from leaders that I have heard in other businesses that I've worked for talk about mental health in construction or their struggles. So again, they would have had to speak up for the first time, and that's sort of flowed down. And look, here we are, we'll include you, Ronnie, 3 friends talking about stuff that they're passionate about. So yeah, like you said, it kind of all starts somewhere and it all takes that one small first step. So thanks, Brendan. Nerrissa, what's one thing leaders can do daily to show support to their teams?
I think like check-ins, something really simple. I mean, I've had conversations with leaders or, people, my boss, and they've been sort of really transparent, raw conversation, and it's just from having a walk around site and checking in. So I think I mentioned it a few times, but just creating moments. I think we are, and I got to put my hand up here, like I spend a lot of time on my phone and social media, but like we are a very disconnected, age group. And so having, like, you kind of miss those opportunities sometimes. I think I like a random side note, I was at the takeaway the other day, my phone died, and I was just looking around and I was like, this is so awkward. Like, I was like looking at the floor, like, I don't even want to make eye contact with the people around me because I don't know what to do. Like, I'm like so used to just being there and sitting on my phone and being like, that I had to wait 10 minutes for my food, and I just sat there like feeling like the most awkward human alive because I had to sit there and not be on my phone for 10 minutes, and that's just like ridiculous. But that's kind of where we're at, and some are worse than others. And I think it's taken, like, that kind of has created like this dependency on being busy, whether it be on your phone or just go. And so it's like if you're having a walk around site and you're having that conversation, you're able to actually open up, and you're able to maybe even just like put out some fires. Like if there are things that are concerning you or adding to your stress, that person you're talking to, your boss or colleague, might be able to help or offer some ideas or solutions. But I guess as a leader myself, is just, it could start with talking about something work related and like, hey, we're hanging that vanity, what do you think? Should we put it here or here? And I go there. I'm just like, oh yeah, how's it going? And then, it can be real subtle, and then you kind of just, you get to know that person. And if you talk about it, just compels. If they trust you and if you care enough and they sense that, then you can go as deep as you want to go with the person you're talking to. And I feel like I've had leaders that also do that well. You're one of them. I've worked with you on a site, and there was a period where, end of financial year is hectic, and we've got all the houses to sell. And yeah, I think there was a day I was just like pulling my hair out and you're like, let's go grab a coffee, let's go for a chat. And it's like nothing actually is like directly solved, but I feel lighter and I walk away from that like I can go back to site and I can tackle this.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Nerrissa. And yeah, some great insight in there. I don't know, talking just about your phone story there, Nerrissa, I can maybe think of a scenario that helped me when I was working overseas in London. And I don't know if anyone's been to London. Everyone's looking at their phone on their way to work in the morning. Nobody looks up. Nobody looks anywhere else. It's, probably pouring with rain. Super dark London mornings and dark London evenings. And I remember kind of just being sick of looking at everybody looking down at their phone. And I was like, well, why don't I just look up? And then you just look up and you see all the old, beautiful buildings. You see maybe a tiny bit of blue sky in the air. And like for me, if I'm having a bad day, it sounds so easy, but I just stop and I just look up. And like you kind of just look up at the sky and then you're like, I've never seen that tree over there, or I've never seen that top of that building. That looks a bit funny. So yeah, that's just one thing that I do is just look up and kind of get out of your, I don't know, like out of your hands, I guess, like looking into your hands all the time. Cause yeah, like everyone's on their phone on site, Nerrissa. So yeah, just looking up for me, that's one thing that I do that, I don't know, that's helped me. And just be grateful for a day that you're in. Cause yeah, you never know what tomorrow might bring.
If I could just add a little bit to that, it was just the word intentional. I think it's just being intentional on things that you enjoy as such, because we like to do things that makes us happy, right? We like to do things with our family, with our partners. But the word intentional is such a lost word at the moment, because I have to see someone, or I have to do this, I have to do that. The intention is no longer there, I think. I think it's just making it intentional. So I guess in a way, it's more of a reflection between us four or the people that are listening to this. Is it intentional or is it a chore? It's two different things, right? Is it a chore or is it intentional? Because if it's a chore, you should probably think about what you're doing, because it's becoming more of a rotating circle, like work. You show up, you do work, and then you do it again. But if it's intentional, you actually enjoy it. You find that little bits and pieces, like what you said there, Ronnie, that those trees that you haven't seen before, because you intentionally made a change and you want to actually look at it a different way. If I was to just share anything, it's just the word intentional. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a great one. And Ronnie, just closing this last point, or last section, sort of 94% of workers who use Mates have found it helpful. Sort of what support is available right now, like Mates Helpline, case management, or volunteers on site? Are you just able to talk to what's out there for people to get in touch with at the moment?
I think the major thing is our phone line. For many years, it was manned by myself and our team of 14. And we have a rotating roster at the first 2 years of Mates, in which we take those phone calls no matter what time of day. But now, again, I always like to highlight ASB, because they say they want to support us, and they've been supporting us for the last 3 years. They have funded our 24-hour service, which is manned by counselors, a live person in the other side of that, having these conversation with the people. And when you call that, it's private, it's confidential, and no one needs to know. But bear in mind, if life is at risk, they do get people involved. They get your family, they get police involved. And the other side of that, if it isn't at risk, it goes to our case management team. What they are is they skilled counselor psychologists that is there to cater that support for you. Not these conversation online. They're going to go out there and see you on site. They got unmarked cars for people that don't want to be seen to talk to mates. They have the coffee with you, free coffee, I might add. There you go. And they have those conversation with you, those tough conversation. But one thing we always say is that we could have these beautiful services. We could have the best phone lines, but without good people, we won't be able to do this. Without our volunteers, without our people right here in this space right now, we won't be able to do this. And it has to start with people, right? The moment you acknowledge you need support, and as Brandon said, get on with it, it's actually the most courageous thing you could ever do. It took me a while and this is me just sharing a bit of my story. It took me a while for the first time to actually pick up that phone, even to press that button. I was shaking in my boots. I was 13 years old. I had to tell my father that I was struggling, and it took a lot out of me to even do that. And I can only imagine the person in the other side of that, my father, all the responsibility, a mother, all the responsibility falls on them, but hey, it's okay. What we say is you can go through all of the million things that we go through day to day as human beings. It's okay. But what's not okay is to do nothing about it, because you are not alone. This journey of mental health is not a journey for us just here, mates, not just for you, Vinny, not for Brandon, not for Nerrissa, but it's a journey for every single one of us here. Not only in the construction industry, let's take the construction industry out of it. It's the journey of here in Aotearoa. Our numbers are horrific. The only way it will change is if we start changing our mindset. And I think with people using our mate services through that research, it showed that it works. But we don't want to hero that. What we want to hero is the constant work that our volunteers are doing, the constant work of our sites and the team that we associate ourselves with, from major project to a one-man band in the middle of nowhere that would advocate for good mental health. Because we all know what a bad day looks like. But what we want to do is we want to string more of those good days.
Amazing, thank you. And yeah, sort of our last sort of section here, closing, sort of roundtable, sort of final encouragement messages. Brendan, for tradies out there, do you have any sort of closing final words of encouragement for other tradies out there?
Yep. Well, we all know it's a bit of a dark situation in the minute. We're all in a dark time. There's a recession we're going through. But the beauty of being in a dark time or being in a low is the only way is up, right? Or if you're in a dark tunnel, you focus on that light and you go towards there. So, I think the most important thing is, look, we're in a negative situation, right? But one thing my dad always said was positivity breeds positivity, and likewise with negativity. So if you focus on the positives, right? So when I was for example, when I was driving here to do this, I'm focusing on all the negatives in my life at the minute. This isn't right. This job's doing this doing this. And I was like, hold on a minute. What positives have I done this year? And I start thinking about the positives, then my mood lifts, right? And then obviously I can interact with people more positively. So focus on the positives. It's going to get better. We're in the best industry ever. Don't listen to the statistics. It's the best industry to be in. And let's just keep moving forward. And find a community. If you haven't got no one in your site you can talk to, make a social media. There's loads of tradies online that connect online. Go to, sign up to Hirepool Clash of Construction next year. Just find your community. Keep going forward. It's positive times. Next year's going to be a good year. We'll do this next year and we'll talk about all the positives in the year.
Thanks, Brendan. And Nerrissa, for leaders and managers, any words of encouragement?
Yeah, I actually just wanted to bring it back, because when I was thinking about coming to this, I thought it's kind of weird that I'm speaking about Movember because it's men's mental health. I'm surrounded by men all the time and I live with one and I care about many. But yeah, I think I was looking into Movember and what it all means. And yeah, there's an aspect of it that's about cancers that come to men, and suicide is sort of the main thing. And it was really cool how it started just with a few mates growing their moustache, and they wanted to raise awareness for these things that happen to men. And if you look at the statistics, we lost 617 people to suicide last year. 98% of those people were men, which is crazy. And as you all know, a majority of our industry are men. So that's why this is so important, and that's why we're talking about it. Men in construction are 2 times more likely to kill themselves than men working in any other industry. And that's all stuff that came out of the research with mates. And so yeah, there's no better time to talk about what we're talking about. For leaders, I think it's just educate yourself. I know it's sometimes seen as airy-fairy and you're trying to paint rainbows and whatever, but it's so important. And some of these changes that need to be made are very minimal changes that have massive impact. And I think just being aware of what the situation is out there and how quickly things can turn for an individual that results in suicide is very scary, and it matters, and everyone can prevent that somehow. We all have a part to play in that. So I think, yeah, that's just my message to share.
And yeah, Ronnie, well, I'll ask you as well, but I'll just maybe chime in there, Nerrissa, just around sort of final encouragement or messages. You spoke about leaders and other leaders that we've had in our business or previously that I've worked with. And again, I probably wouldn't have started a podcast, even probably thought about an episode on mental health if it wasn't for those leaders that I've worked with previously. So if you do have a team of staff, what am I trying to say here? Yeah, lead from the front, open the door for a conversation, even if it's just opening it slightly, it will lead to maybe something great happening, and maybe, hopefully, the podcast will be great one day. But yeah, I think it all stems from leaders and people that you work with. So just having those conversations with everybody and just be normal. I think you don't need to be, one thing that I've struggled with myself in my career is being a man's man. People that know me and that have worked with me, I'm probably not a man's man, and I'm 100% okay saying that. Yeah. So you don't have to be a certain type of person to be a man. I'm more than happy with the way I am and what I've done in my career being not a man's man, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I just want to say. And Ronnie, for the whole industry, do you have any final words for encouragement?
I do this activity in front of many people and in front of big sites, small sites. And I will, just to show you what it really is all about. I want you three to think about the last 3 weeks. And I want you to think about those last 3 weeks. Who's pissed you off? What made you upset and what made you angry, right? So I ask you this question. In the last 3 weeks, out of the three of you, who hasn't had a bad day? No one. 2 weeks? A week?
Yeah, I've probably had bad days. Yep. Yeah, I've had a bad day. Yep.
A string of bad days, right? You know what that shows us is that we're human beings. We have this thing called feelings that exist, and those feelings are either good feelings or not so good feelings. Our industry is beautiful, it's wonderful, it brings so much people together from every different walks of life, but unfortunately, our industry is suffering. We are the leading industry to suicide, and the only way it will shift is it has to start with you. The moment your mindset shifts surrounding mental health, whether you're shifting from "you'll be alright" to "maybe we'll have a conversation. Are you okay?" Changing that wording to "hey, what's happening at home?" It has to shift. It has to change. We cannot eliminate the thoughts of suicide, but what we can do is we can eliminate the stigma surrounding it. And it has to start with our mindset. It has to start with the way you think about people, because all of us here, we work 9, 10, 15 hours, depending on what you do for work. Beyond that role or being a construction worker, you are a father, you are a mother, and you have your own responsibility. We only see a snapshot of your life at work about that much. And the other side of that, there are responsibilities that exist, that pressures that exist in your day-to-day jobs, in your day-to-day lives. And we carry that everywhere we go. It's about acknowledging that when those gets a bit too high and you can't see a way forward, it's not about unboxing every single one of them. We're not here to fix all of them. What we're trying to unbox is so that we can just see the way forward, just to see that bit of sunlight, that bit of hope, to ignite hope to our people, to create that change, to make that shift. And that shift has to start with your own self, player one, because if you're no good, you're not good for anyone else. If we were to take any messages from mates in construction, is that, again, I will say it again, and we say this in every single one of our training, it is okay not to be okay. It is okay to have horrible days. It is okay to be grumpy, guys. That's all good. It's okay not to be okay. What's not okay is to do nothing about it, to dismiss, and avoid what's going on in here and what's troubling you up here. For Movember, if I had to share any message to our men out there, get checked. If your physical well-being is a key part of your mental health, get tested. All the cancers that you can get tested for, make it intentional. Do it for your family. Do it for your group of friends. But most importantly, do it for yourself. Look after yourself. Take care. And our number is 0800 111 315. We are here to support you no matter what time of day. There's a live and a direct person that's there to support you and to make sure that you are okay. Treat us like your skip when we're going in back to construction. Dump all the rubbish that you're going through. We will listen and we will help you through that. Thank you for having us, Vinny. You are awesome. I love having this space with you, bro. Thank you for doing what you do for our construction industry. Nerrissa really touched base on that. It is very important to have people's voices out there from every walks of life to hear people's voices surrounding what we do, because we love what we do. We don't go out here and bag our industry because we actually love what we do as shining a light into mental health, which is really very important. Thank you for allowing us to be in this platform, mate.
No, really appreciate it, Ronnie. And yeah, just again, that mates and construction line is 0800 111 And yeah, just Movember reminder, start a conversation, check on your mates, and look after yourself. Thank you to everyone, the three of you that have been here. Yeah, special thanks to Brendan for your idea of this. Yeah, it was your idea, Brendan, so appreciate you sharing that with me and just being able to facilitate this with you, Brendan, who I've worked with in the past, Nerrissa, who I've spent multiple years working with. And yeah, just respect both of your ability to share your stories and create a community around you. And Nerrissa, thanks again for keeping a close eye on everyone out there, men and women in the construction workplace. And Ronnie, thanks so much for your time and your shared experiences on this story. So yeah, thanks everybody. That's it for today's episode of Constructing Mindsets. Remember, every conversation is a chance to shift the culture of construction. Subscriptions and reviews are always appreciated. Until next time, take care and keep showing up with good energy. Let's keep building the kind of industry we want to be a part of.